Good afternoon, everyone. Those of you who have been following me for a while are probably quite clear about how I feel about many different issues. I'd like to think that I say it how it is, good or bad. Sadly, over the last few months, a lot of it has been bad, and I've been told off for presenting you with too much bad news, which I do apologise for, but my intention is and always has been to present the facts as I see them to you, to raise questions so that you are able to make your own decisions, and hopefully those decisions will be informed decisions. Now, it's one thing stood here ranting or writing blog posts, and it's quite something different, or something quite different, to actually be proactive and do something. And that is exactly what I have decided to do. As I've mentioned before, it is something that I'm pondering on. I am in the constituency of Northamptonshire North. This constituency has never ever had an independent MP. In fact, no independent candidate has even harvested enough votes to recover their deposit. That is how much two-party politics, basically straight down the middle, varies up or down depending on the climate. That is how two-party politics are ingrained in this constituency. Obviously, it's not the same throughout the rest of the country. So, I start off against all odds. The odds of me recovering my deposit seem to be zero, let alone winning the seat. But does that mean I should not stand? No. I believe I have every reason to stand, because if I do not stand, if I do not make an effort, then everything I say, everything I write is little more than hearsay. Something you discuss in the pub. Do you remember those places before they were taxed out of existence? Perhaps you do. So I intend to stand for Northampton North, not just for myself, not just for Northampton North, but as I have previously said, I sincerely hope that what I am doing will inspire many of you throughout the country to do the same. There is only one way that we can change this terrible status quo, this political yo-yo that we have all been subjected to for decades, and that is for individual people such as yourselves to stand. People, everyday people who suffer everyday problems are more qualified to be in a position of leadership than people who have had a life of privilege and do not have a clue what everyday people need to suffer. In my opinion, the best qualifications for understanding what people need, the best qualifications for leadership, are people who have worked behind a bar, people who have cut hair, people who have driven a cab, people who have done everyday jobs, because they are more likely to understand and be sympathetic to what people really need. This process is all new to me. When I did look it up on the government website, the only information I found really was you cannot announce your candidacy until an election is called. When an election is called, you basically have 6 weeks, 5 weeks, however long it may be. How is an unknown going to go from zero to remotely having any chance in those few weeks? But I have seen that candidates of some of the major parties, rather potential candidates, do have their pages and they just put candidate for MP for this constituency. I intend to do the same, because that will give me a year and a half, give or take, to actually connect with people in this area, to get my point across, to detail my position on the most crucial issues, be it education, housing, the financial crisis, immigration, healthcare, so many things that people feel passionately about. And believe it or not, I actually have an opinion on all of them, and I do intend to detail that in black and white and make it public on the record as soon as I can. There is absolutely no way that I would consider to enter this under one of the parties, because as far as I'm concerned, for me to do so would be for me to sell my soul like many of the others do, and I believe the going rate is 30 pieces of silver. If I were ever privileged enough to have the opportunity to fight for this constituency and the people in the town where I grew up in, I will not be dictated to by a party whip. I will say what I want, how I want, where I want, when I want. Who knows how that will end? I assume if I upset the wrong people, I may be found guilty of eating a piece of cake, or if I'm really lucky, I may be involved in a scandal with a lady. Although I do hope that part is true, even though I'm far too old for that. If this is something that is on your mind, please get in touch. I would love to share knowledge, experience, this learning curve, support, motivation with other people. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you believe in within the constraints of the law, of course. But in fact, the very fact that I may disagree with you or vice versa is every reason why you should stand. Because although we are being indoctrined that if we literally contradict the narrative that we are aliens, the fundamental basics of a democracy are celebrating and arguing and disputing our differences. So I don't care where you're from, what you believe, what your politics are, what your age is. If this is something that you feel remotely that you would like to do, then do it. Not just for yourselves, not just for your locality, but for the UK as a whole. As I said, as I work through where I stand on everything, I will be posting it. I would love to hear your feedback. Please feel free to critique as much as you like, because I would much rather hear it from you directly. I would much rather that you help me to question where I stand, so that I can consider it and I can do my best and take the best position, and hopefully I will encourage others to join me and do the same, because this lot need to go. Thank you very much, and bye bye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.